Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Listen, the higher power knew that I never would have made it in this lifetime as a Christian. Because you mean to tell me I took my hard-earned $1,235, brought it into this church to give to this church, and you tell me that's not enough? Like, with a serious face, not like chuckle, a geek, like you was dead ass. And this is after a couple of people ago, a sister gave her money, right, to Marvin. He miscalculates the number and with disdain tells the sister, well, you could have just said $2,000. Nobody left. Nobody yelped. Nobody disagreed. Nobody chin checked. Then I saw another video, and I'm just going to say it's AI. I'm just going to say it's AI because I refuse to believe that it's real. Of another pastor preaching and talk about how he bought a Bentley for the church. Somebody yells from the congregation, can we drive? And he says, no. There's no way you're going to convince me that God is speaking to these folks. Like, y'all are really better than me because they would need a building fund after I've burned it all down to the ground.
Now, before y'all come saying that I'm taking the viral clip out of context, I took the liberty of listening to Bishop Winans' speech where he was explaining the process of the giving up until the moment of this viral clip. All right. And so we're going to listen to it together because unless I'm confused, Bishop Winans offers two distinct ways to give in this offering. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let y'all hear exactly what he said. And based off what he said, I completely understand why this lady got in the line to bring her offering. Roll the clip.
Listen to me. We're going to do this a couple of ways. Those that have the 1,000 plus one, that means you're coming with your 1,000 that you're giving, plus you've asked someone else to give. Now, you don't have to stop at 1,000, and we're going to deal. So in other words, if you say, Pastor Winans, I'm coming with my 1,000 plus another 3,000, then you'll say that. You understand? And if you didn't get plus one, but you maybe came with $250, you're going to come say that this is my 1,000 plus 250. You with me?
I, Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
Did I miss something? Now, to all of y'all saying that we need to mind our business and let Bishop Marvin Winans run his church however he wants to run it, that's not how trauma-informed care works. Let me tell you, you can love your tradition and still hold your tradition accountable. Trauma-informed care is an ethical framework about creating cultures of safety and dignity. And we simply cannot preach healing while practicing harm, even if it's unintentional. Culture might accept it, but it doesn't excuse it. Culture and tradition doesn't get a pass when it comes down to trauma. Trauma-informed care doesn't bow down to hierarchy, nor does it pause for tradition. So for everyone saying we should just stay out of Bishop Winans' business, no. When harm is public, reflection gets to be public also. I do think part of the problem with the Black church is that for so long, it has been able to operate outside of the realm of real training and accountability and professional critique. A lot of these terms that I use, like trauma-informed care or human-centered leadership, they're just not terms that we've been taught. So what's really happened is that abusive culture got normalized because we lacked the language and the training to name it. So yes, we've normalized harm as holiness. I was once a full-time pastor, so I know how it goes. Part of the reason why I closed my church and sat down was because I needed more training. Hey y'all, I'm Dr. Vanessa R. Brooks, and I wrote this dissertation, Exploring Depression in the Black Church, Are African American Evangelical Clergy Willing to Integrate Secular Mental Health Treatment with Their Religious Counseling Practice? And I say this not as an outsider looking in, because again, I was someone who was right there. I pastored a church full time for 14 years. And so I care deeply about the culture of the Black church, but also the well-being of the Black church. In fact, I dedicated this dissertation to the Black church, the place that my mama loved. So while everybody else is arguing about whether Bishop Winans embarrassed that woman or not, or whether he just wanted more money, that's not my focus. Honestly, I don't have a problem with churches raising money. That's not my issue at all. My concern is how we lead, how we handle human beings, and how we create spaces that honor human dignity. You see, this right here is my opportunity to highlight the need for our churches to become human-centered and trauma-informed. If you made it this far, first of all, thank you for staying. But I want to talk about what trauma-informed care and human-centered leadership really is, because these are not buzzwords. These are evidence-based frameworks. Human-centered leadership, it refers to an approach that prioritizes the human experience in every decision. It's leadership that sees people not as instruments to achieve a goal, but as the very reason the goal exists in the first place. It emphasizes empathy, respect, collaboration, and belongingness. It asks, how does this impact the people, before it asks, how does this serve the institution? And what exactly is trauma-informed care and trauma-informed leadership? Well, it's based on the framework established by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, and is built around understanding the widespread impact of trauma and recognizing the symptoms and the signs of trauma in individuals, families, and communities. Now, when a leader embraces these principles, even moments of correction or giving can be handled with compassion and respect and not shame. So, when I talk about being trauma-informed and human-centered, I'm not attacking the Black church, but I am calling the Black church into alignment, into a way of leading that heals instead of harms. I have a call to action for you. If this conversation stirred something in you, if you're a pastor, a church leader, or part of a ministry that wants to learn how to lead in a way that's truly human-centered and trauma-informed, you can book a strategy call with me today. Grace and peace.
And as soon as Marvin Winans told me that my $1,200 was not good enough, I would have snatched that money back so fast. And I would have told him in that microphone, if you want money that bad, go put out a damn album. Call your family, y'all go put out an album. Because y'all been building on this building since 2002. I was a sophomore in high school when they started building on that. And I am damn near 40. And y'all still ain't finished with it yet. It's just been sitting there. Y'all, this man has lost it. God is asking for 10% and you're asking for $2,000. For people who are probably not even bringing in $2,000 a month. You're already in a mega church, but you want a $13 million church in a new location. That is greed. That is really like you pimping your congregation. Like, some of these people are poor. You got all those people in Detroit, the poor communities that you could be helping out with all this money, but you want a $13 million building? Like, Oh my God, this does not make sense to me. That could not have been me. Do you hear me? We would have gave everybody in that congregation something to talk about, because not only to embarrass that woman, but to do that in front of that young child, that child who was dressed up and handed that money over with a smile on his face. They were so proud. That lady probably had been saving up that money for months, and then you embarrassed her like that in front of everybody. Could not have been me.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be talking about a pastor who publicly embarrassed a church member who gave $1,235 as against $2,000 instructed by the pastor. This video is for educational purposes and not to lash on anyone. And if it's your first time of coming to my channel, please do not forget to subscribe, share, like, turn on your notification bell, and drop your comments in the comment section. Credit belongs to the owners of the clips and stitches I'll be attaching to this video. With this being said, let's dive into it.
Y'all, when I first saw this video, I honestly thought it was AI. And then I saw it on the news and I was like, this is real.
Sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
So my thing is, if someone is giving you their hard-earned money because they believe in you or believe in your words, then why make them feel guilty for not giving enough? Especially when they have a family to provide for.
You're the woman in that viral video.
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction, because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments. And we had someone that had given out of before, and I corrected it.
His excuse is still not making sense to me. I don't know about you. What do y'all think about this situation?
Detroit pastor Marvin Winans
Detroit.
is a
Pastor
ungrateful
Marvin
man.
Winans, bro, you was on the map, bro. You a real ungrateful man. Now I know you might have been asked for $2,000, but the lady gave you what she had, bro. The lady said she had 1,000 plus $235, bro. The lady said, I'm going to work on the other 800. You hollering about that ain't what I asked you. Man, what is wrong with y'all preachers, man? That ain't what you asked me, man. Do you pay my bills at my house, bro? Do you know what's coming up? I can give you what I can give you. I ain't giving them nothing. But these people out here working their hard-earned money, man, giving y'all people y'all money. Do y'all give these people back their money? Even part of it? Y'all looking for money every week? Come on, man. That's some ungrateful stuff right there for a pastor to sit up there and do that lady like that in front of a congregation. Do y'all give some of that money back to these people, man, when their bills need to be paid and they ain't got it? I don't think so. So that right there, bro, the Lord watching you, pastor or no pastor, bro. Cause that shit right there, man, that done kind of ran me hot this morning, man. I can't believe that man sat up there and did. That ain't what I asked you for. What? Man, y'all better get out here with that stuff, bro. Pull that video up. You think I'm playing, man. Man, you was ungrateful, bro. Man, let me get out here, because that boy, that got me kind of hot on the collar right there with that one, bro. That shit didn't make no sense at all. I'm out.
And people still will make excuses for Marvin Winans and him telling that mom, looking at her face and said, you're not understanding. I told you to give me 1,000 plus 1,000. And she said, well, I'm going to work on the other 800. He said, that's not what I asked you to do. Somebody even said not all churches are like that. If somebody's forcing you to give the church money, then that's when I start thinking and looking at the church sideways. Look, churches don't have to force y'all to give them money. They will guilt you. He didn't force her, but I bet you she's embarrassed enough to make sure that the next time she comes back through there, she brings another $1,000 on top of that $1,000. Because that's what y'all do. Y'all love to judge and y'all love to guilt people into feeling like they're not doing enough. Why does God need money? Why does Jesus need money? They don't. If they so exist, they don't need money. So what are you giving the church money for? And just because you don't go to a conglomerate church doesn't mean that you're still not being subject to being pressured to tithe. I knew this girl we used to work with, and every day she was asking for gas money. She was bringing cups of noodles. One day we even had like a little thing where we went out, had a 2-hour break for lunch, and we all went to like I think it was like Texas Roadhouse or something. She couldn't pay for her dinner. She couldn't pay for it because she didn't have the money. So one of the girls approached her and was like, what you doing with your money? Like, we all work at the same place. Like, what's going on? And she was like, church told me to give 65% of my paycheck, so that's what I do because I want to make it to heaven. I want to make it to heaven. I want to make sure God knows that I am sowing my tithes, I'm sowing my seeds, I'm doing everything I can. But meanwhile, in the real world, she's broke. That's what they teach y'all. Your riches will be up there, but down here, suffer. Unlike us, pastors, we don't have to suffer because we're the one interpreting the message for you. So you don't have to interpret it yourself because half of these people don't know how to read. They don't know how to comprehend. They lack comprehension skills. They lack fundamental skills. And that's why they're being taken advantage of. It's sad. It's sad and it's pathetic. And honestly, I don't feel sad for that woman because she's still blind and she's embarrassed because the church embarrassed her.
We lift our hands in the sanctuary. That Pastor Marvin, you would have got work from the shoulders. Because what do you mean? I'm coming up to the altar in my Sunday best with my son looking sharp in his suit. I'm giving you my money. I'm reading my little thing, I think I'm doing my big one. I'm saying I'm giving you $1,235. And you got the audacity to take it and say, I said 1,000 plus 1,000. Yeah, but I just gave you $1,235. I'm going to work on the other 800. No. Y'all ain't listening. That ain't what I told you to do. Well, excuse the fuck out of me. Yes, you would have got 1,000 plus 1,000. What is our... And then for you to tell people, if you don't have 1,000 plus 1,000, go ahead, step out the line.
Pastor Marvin Winan, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You out here complaining about a $1,200 check? In this economy, there's nothing godly about humiliating a mother in front of her son and in front of the congregation. I don't care if that was a joke. It was tacky. Y'all need to stop putting y'all money into these type of churches. You think you're just going to stand there and tell me it's not enough? Make it enough. Make it enough. This is just as bad as that one pastor who was saying, ushers, close the doors. All for some money. What really killed me is the fact that that lady literally said, I'm working on the other half. Girl, take your first half and go to another church. Because this one's not it. I've said this before and I will say it again. Pastors like this are exactly why certain people are turning away from the church. Y'all are scaring people. I'm not just frustrated with the pastor. I am also very frustrated with the audience, with the congregation, with the individuals that allow these pastors to continually bamboozle them. You guys are choosing to partake in stuff like this. So truthfully, I don't even feel that bad.
The moment went viral, and many viewed it as a public embarrassment or a rebuke of a sincere giver, including myself. It's really a public humiliation of a willing giver, even if unintended. Publicly calling out someone who gave sacrificially sends a message that their gifts and efforts is not enough. This violates principles of a grace-based leadership where the heart behind the gift matters more than the amounts given. When you look at the book of Mark 12:41 to 44, the widow's mite, you will understand what I mean. Misplaced priorities. When a pastor focuses more on a target amount than the spirit of generosity, it shifts giving from being sacrificial to transactional. God honors a cheerful giver. So if you look at 2 Corinthians 9:7, you will see that not the pressured or shamed giver. From a leadership standpoint, public interactions must reflect wisdom, sensitivity, and compassion, especially with financial matters. And these financial matters are deeply personal. Correcting someone over a $765 shortfall, standing before the church, created unnecessary offense and division. Yes. For you to correct someone over $765 shortfall, while the person gave over $1,200 before the church body, it created a heavy unnecessary offense and division. So now when you look at it biblically, the counter examples, Jesus and the widow's offering in Mark 12:41, like I said before, to 44. Jesus praised a woman who gave 2 small coins far than others because she gave from the heart and she gave all she had. Jesus did not interrupt her. He honored the woman. And Paul, on giving, in 2 Corinthians 9:7, Paul said, each one must give as he or she has decided in his heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. So there's no place of coercion or place for coercion, guilt or embarrassment in godly giving. Now, in correction, Pastor Winans should have made this kind of corrections. Honor the gift publicly. Say thank you for your incredible generosity and faith. Your gift matters deeply to God and to this house as well. This affirms the person without shame or comparing them to someone else or something else. Number 2, clarify expectations privately or tactfully instead of correcting the person in front of the congregation, in front of everyone, or for flow purposes. You can say, those giving the full $2,000 should come up first and do their donation or their giving. Then all other givings will be recognized thereafter. And you say everyone's gift is valued. This respects order and protects dignity. You have to focus on the spirit and not the number. Look at giving from being about the amount to sacrificially giving with faith. Saying that $2,000 is the goal is fine, but it must be accompanied by grace for those who cannot reach that level. Now, my advice to all church leaders, please, number 1 is to avoid financial legalism. Set giving goals, but never demand amounts in ways that make people feel that they are persuaded or inadequate. 2, celebrate faith. A single mother giving $100 in faith may be giving more sacrificially than someone or a millionaire giving $10,000. Yes. You always have to honor the hearts behind the gift and not just the number or the amount on the check. You have to create a culture of graceful generosity, teach biblical stewardship and generosity, but let the Holy Spirit convict the giver. Let the Holy Spirit convict and not the pastor's pressure in this case. So my final thought on this is that correcting or embarrassing a willing giver, especially one that is sowing in faith, is spiritually tone deaf and pastorally damaging. So a better response would be, my sister, thank you for your faith. Your $1,235 is powerful because it's a seed. And you say, and I believe God will meet you as you give in faith. Whether you reach $2,000 or not, I honor your heart of giving. That simple sentence would have avoided the backlash, protected the giver's dignity, and reflected the love of Christ more than any amount ever could. So another thing is that saying that in front of the woman's son, the little boy, for me it was so touching. So let me have your thoughts on this matter, your opinions, your observations, your suggestions, your corrections on this. And don't forget that this video is for educational purposes and not to lash on anyone. Credit belongs to the owners of the stitches and clips that are being attached on this video. With this being said, I'm going to say peace and love. Bye for now. Until my next one.